Hey everyone! So after playing some Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town, I got to thinking, why is Harvest Moon so popular? And is there psychology behind it? To start off with, I'm going to be breaking this into categories. The categories consist of life sim, farming, art, attachment, gameplay, and fun. Starting off with life sim, it's fun. That's obvious. The game is presented in such a nature that makes the idle activity of farming fun. Something we wouldn't necessarily do. There is a niche appeal to it. There's also niche appeal to sports games. Something we can do outside right now. Why not play it in the comfort of our homes? On a couch with a controller in our hands. It's free. Well, yes, you have to buy the game. But for the most part, it's a free alternative to farming. I'm not saying that it's a good one because you don't get any food from it. But for anyone actually wanting to farm something, it is a free alternative to doing that activity. There's no real effort in it. There's no real physical effort beyond pushing the A button to proceed, text, pick crops, pick up chickens and throw them down to make them happy for some reason, feed chickens, do whatever. There is no real effort. You don't have to lift bales of hay, you don't have to take seeds to a farm, you don't have to hoe the land. It's a great alternative to actually doing real work. Who'da thunk? There's no moral weight on the player. This is something that I'm very interested in. If it was real life, we would not do half the things we would do in video games. Take the situation of Grand Theft Auto. Why, yes, I do not believe there is a link between video game violence and real life violence. I would not necessarily do the things I did in Grand Theft Auto in real life because consequences work differently, and that's why I like video games and escapism. Escapism is the belief that I can escape from my mundane real life into a fantasy world to get out tension, to work out desires I can't really support in the real world. The moral weight thing really gets brought up to me because in real life, if I had bought a shit ton of cows, I would not really sell them for like 2,500 gold when times were getting tough in winter and I needed to farm some stuff. No, siree, I would not do that. Fuck that. I would still have my cows, they'd still be at my farm, and they'd still be chilling and wasting money. Half the stuff we do in Harvest Moon doesn't really gel with real life. Harvest goddesses and stuff like that. The basics and actuality of how farming works. A lot of these things, they just aren't the same as they are in real life. For one, we can't hire little pixies to help us with our farming in real life. Two, we can't just water our plants once a day and come back the next day and harvest. And yes, I know Harvest Moon, you have to wait a couple days. But still, real farming doesn't work like that. You are free to live without the burden of regular life. Regular life is boring. You have to work a day-to-day job. You have to pay bills. In Harvest Moon, you don't have to pay bills or really even have to work. In games like Harvest Moon GB, Friends of Mineral Town, there is no real obligations on you. You can just live your life how you want to. You might want to just farm. You might want to just rear cattle. It's up to you now. Decide what you want to do. Personally, I just like to take the farming route because livestock sucks in Harvest Moon and stuff like that. So the second section, farming. One of the basic natures of human beings is farming. We are hardwired to do it. From the times of early man, we have been farmers. For some reason, I have a theory that Harvest Moon taps into our primeval mind and makes us just want to play it because it reminds us of farming. Now, we don't farm we all don't farm for subsistence anymore. We get people who farm and we pay them for food and stuff. But there's still that lingering mentality. There's still that lingering thought process in your mind. And that's actually what causes a lot of people who go out and do farming like that, start from doing desk jobs to just farming full out, usually have that thought process triggered by something. There is a farming culture as well. You might not believe me, but there is a huge culture for farming. It's actually really interesting too. Being from a background where farming is actually imposed on me, well, not imposed, but I've been around it, there's a farming environment, I've actually seen that people who farm are generally happy with what they're doing. And it's actually really interesting. And I've introduced a lot of people, such as my dad, who is a farmer, to stuff like Harvest Moon, and he, for some reason, had to introduce me to Farmville. I stopped playing it now. It's garbage. Garbage, fake Harvest Moon. And I introduced him to it, and he really likes it because he can do stuff in it that he can't do in real life. Right now, he doesn't want to farm vegetables, but he can farm vegetables in Harvest Moon. It's not going to cost him anything. He's just going to waste some time. Art. The graphics have a niche style. The graphics aren't at the point where the graphics are stylized, let's just say that. And that really helps Harvest Moon, because cute things are easily identifiable with either gender. I don't give a shit. If you are a manly man or a very girly girl, if it's cute, you like it. Puppies. Everybody loves a puppy. Kittens. Everybody loves a kitten because they're cute. Harvest Moon has a cutesy art style. It's a cutesy, super deformed or chibi anime art style, and I really like those kinds of art styles. That's why I like Harvest Moon. One of my favorite things about Harvest Moon is how the animals are drawn. I love it. I want all the animals plushies. I just want plushies. And that's another thing Harvest Moon has going for it. It's merchandise. If they get off their asses and start making more, they could just make plushies all over the place. I would buy a Harvest Moon cow plushie, or a Harvest Moon sheep plushie, or a Harvest Moon duck plushie. Any plushie, I want them. The attachment. This is going to be a big one, and I'm going to talk for a while, hopefully. There is a school of psychology that states humans become attached to inanimate objects. The more time you spend with an object, the more attached you become to it. That's basic psychology. If I were to play Harvest Moon on a regular basis, I would become more attached to Harvest Moon. This works with everything. It can be a bad game, a bad movie, a good movie, Cheetos, Doritos, whatever. If you are constantly exposed to this inanimate object, you are going to become more attached to it. Why do you think you have strong brand ties or brand recognition or brand favoritism towards stuff like Sony or Microsoft? That is because you have spent a lot of time with their products, and that has helped you identify with them more, and you've become attached to their products. I know people who would justify the early release statements made by the Xbox One because they have strong brand recognition with Microsoft. And now doing the research for this podcast, I understand why. Comfort objects. A comfort object is something that a human relates with comforting images or thoughts. Think of the study they did on Tetris, where playing Tetris after traumatic events prevents post-traumatic stress disorder from forming. These comfort objects help you. Harvest Moon is designed in such a way that no matter how you're feeling, it can become a very comforting game. It's just pleasant, soothing, the music is very soothing, the art style is very soothing, the colors are very soothing. However, and this is a personal thing for me, I've actually become discomforted with Harvest Moon. I eventually just get so tired of playing it that I try to mess up my life, and that's not a mess up my life in Harvest Moon, and that's a weird thing. And I don't know why I do that. It's a stress reliever as well. What do I mean by it's a stress reliever? Frankly, I don't even know. if I am pissed off and I play Harvest Moon, for some reason, I just stop being pissed off and I don't understand it, and I wish I did so I could explain it better to you. It's just, Harvest Moon is awesome. I can't say any more about it. Just that it's so good. Gameplay. It branches out from just farming. You don't just farm. In Friends of Mineral Town, you can mine. You can have animals. You can do other stuff than just farm. Now, there's so many Harvest Moon games that I cannot really chronicle all of the things you can do in a Harvest Moon game. You can fish, you can hang out with animals, you can have pets, you can do whatever, really. There's also quests and stuff, like Hero of Leaf Village. You have to do a lot of stuff to keep your village going. Yes, it's farming based, but there's still objectives. Harvest Moon has branched out now that the gameplay can appeal to both people who like objective-based gameplay and free gameplay. Personally, I like a mix of both. That's why I like the achievements in Minecraft, because it gives me purpose to my random nonsense. There is a social aspect to Harvest Moon. Marriage, making people like you. Personally, I saw this most apparent in the Wii release Harvest Moon Animal Parade. I've only played a couple Harvest Moon games, and that's one of the few I've played. For some reason, it just stuck out to me that socializing was important in that Harvest Moon, and I'm okay with that. I like it. Finally, the last point I can bring up is that it's just fun. The game is just fun. I wish this point was more elaborate and detailed, but it's just fun. I like to go out and start a new game about every day, actually. I don't like to get too far in Harvest Moon. If I feel like I did well enough, I will go far. I'll go far in some places. I like to start a new game and try better myself because the game is fun. The game is actually very open. It leaves you to explore a lot, and it doesn't really hold your hand. I've realized that Harvest Moon is actually very, almost unforgiving in that way. But it's fun because it gives you more reason to explore, to retry the game after learning more stuff. I mean, for the longest while, I didn't know how to, or when I first started playing Harvest Moon games, the sprite misled me and I thought the thing was ready. So I didn't know how to harvest. So I got a sickle and just started hacking at all of my crops. And then I actually Googled it and said you have to wait even longer. This would have normally pissed off somebody. Not me, because I was playing Harvest Moon and I was already soothed. I had my comfort object and I became attached to it. I didn't mind. I restarted the game. I restarted and made a new save file, and I had more fun. Because I now knew how to farm. I now knew how to play the game more. And a lot of people say that Harvest Moon is boring. Harvest Moon is repetitive. Harvest Moon sucks. Because all you do is farm. Well, all you do in Call of Duty is shoot people in the face. That is also repetitive. All you do in Minecraft is build. Repetitive. I don't care if you can say there's mining or going down into like caves and stuff. You don't do that. You just build. Because going into caves sucks. It's not fun. Like Guitar Hero, all you do is just strum a plastic guitar. We can say anything is repetitive. But hopefully this adventure with me and you, dear viewer, has taught you some, or has enlightened you upon my opinions on why Harvest Moon is so popular, why it's still getting made today, and why, in my opinion, it's single-handedly one of the most popular farming sims. Only because Farmville is free and on Facebook. I hate Facebook games. Just a side tangent. Facebook games suck. They are so conniving and sneaky. Because you can make whatever you want as a Facebook game. It can be so shitty if you want it to be. And you could just post it on Facebook. Everyone will play it because people on Facebook are generally not very... They don't really care what they play on Facebook. You're just waiting for someone to reply you or reply to your message. So you're just like, whatever, I'm going to play Restaurant City. But all the good, like, Playfish games that were on Facebook all got taken down because Playfish got bankrupt or something stupid like that. So there's no good games on Facebook. And that sad tangent actually didn't make any sense and was actually just there to fill in airspace. This has been the ConoghGH show, the ConoghCast, if you will. Thank you, dear viewer, for watching my ConoghCast and giving this stupid man the 15 minutes of fame he so rightfully deserves. Because Harvest Moon is important, and you needed to know why I thought Harvest Moon mattered. Thank you. Please subscribe and tell your friends.